Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today with possibly the final Hill Climb Monster episode. I don't really know what's going to happen with the Hot Wheels update and what I can do with all of that, so there may be some messing around on the Hot Wheels tracks that replaces Hill Climb Monster or puts Hill Climb Monster on a little bit of a back burner for a while. So yeah, for this episode I'm going to take something that I reckon can seriously challenge that BMW 507. We want to go out on, hopefully, a high note, and what better car to use than the Jaguar E-Type. Now, I know how ridiculously fast this vehicle can be on previous Forza games and previous build series and so on. The E-Type can be an excellent, excellent car. And it might just have enough to challenge that BMW. So, the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to drivetrain swap the car. Yes, it is a little bit of heresy going on here. However, it is necessary for this series. We're going to have the car all-wheel drive. We are going to get the car on some nice snow tyres. That does jump it up into A-class. However, it's not too bad of a baseline to be working with. Now, the front tyres aren't the largest. We have seen 245s. The rears, though, aren't too bad at 295s. And, well, yeah, it hasn't got the biggest of tyres. Cars that have very big tyres tend to suck up a lot of PI with them, and you might not be able to get enough power out of it. And we're going to need power in our Jaguar. Likewise, we are going to be needing the Forza aero parts. Rib bumper, what's... oh, apparently I've already taken the rib bumper off the car, but sure. I don't know. I found this E-Type lying around in my garage, as you do. I don't know what it was used for, but there we go. Engine swap. That's what we are going to look at. So, our options are 3.2 litre i6, a 6.2 litre V8, that's Mercedes V8, or the Lamborghini V10. Oh, I am thinking Mercedes V8 is going to be our engine of choice in this car. We will go and... the standard engine is not bad in here, but it's not going to get us the PI or the power that we need to compete. So, yeah, we're going to take that engine out. We're going to have a roll cage, naturally. Now, weight reduction, we are going to go... I'm thinking we're going to go mid-tier. On the, I do kind of want... Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go full weight reduction, and then we'll cycle back around to it, depending on how much power we've got in the car. I'm not sure. Like, the PI gain is looking relatively balanced at the moment on this car, so... yeah, we might have to circle back, because I might want to get a smidge more power in the car. By the looks of it, we're actually going to have to go let's go grab the turbos while we are here. Ooh, do we go turbo? I think we're going to go supercharger. I think we're going to go for the positive displacement supercharger on this car. While it is slightly heavier, I think that's the way we want to go with the Jaguar. Now, we are up to almost 800 horsepower as we speak at 2,600 pounds. That is a brilliant power to weight ratio. That is a brilliant power to weight ratio on the vehicle. If we were to drop one stage of weight reduction out, 2,800. Let's go see what happens if we do that, and how much power can we get in the car. This is serious business now. This is serious business. Ooh. 872 and a lot of torque. 2,800 pounds. I'm thinking we're going to go for that. I think we're going to go for the mid-level weight reduction, a little bit more power. In the investigation thing, everything went quicker. Sometimes only marginally, but it did go quicker with a mid-level thing, and or often marginally. I think that's the way to go. 872 horsepower is nice. A lot of torque as well in the all-wheel drive Jag. As I said, we're hoping I can compete with that BMW. So we are at the bottom of the Devil's Corners hill climb. A 1:55.9 is the time to beat. It has stood quite a while, actually, at the top of the table. A few cars have got close. The Alfa Romeo TZ2 is only a couple of tenths of a second down on that. Will the Jaguar be able to go faster? We are off the line nice and quickly. We are not quite as horrendously fast in a straight line as some cars have been. The important thing, though, is, well, we've got to be quick in a straight line, of course. You know, while this is a very, very twisty and turny circuit, we have seen cars like the Jaguar XJ220, for example, that had very little in the way of power, very little in the way of straight line speed, despite being good through the corners, weren't particularly quick up here. So we do need a good amount of straight line speed, but as the Corvette and Maloo have proved in the last couple of episodes, we do need a fair amount of handling as well if we're going to try and find some time. Now, this Jaguar has got about the same amount of power as the Maloo and weighs a fair bit less. We're talking sort of 600-700 pounds less. How much? 120 miles an hour. Now, I am being a little early on the brakes at the moment, just kind of feeling where the car is at. I think we can be a touch braver at how fast we're going to be. 107 miles an hour. Not quite as quick as the BMW, actually, across that section. Come on, Jag. Get out of that hairpin. Put the power down. It's doing a good job with its power delivery here. It's a little bit of spinning the wheels in a couple of places. However, yeah, on the whole, not doing too badly. I'm not sure if we've got the quite got the grip. We haven't got the lovely grip that we got from the likes of the Corvette or from the Maloo. It seems fast to the first part of the course, but I'm not sure we're quite as composed up the latter part here. Plenty of speed off of the icy straight, though. 106 miles an hour for the E-Type as we get on the brakes into the penultimate corner. Try and set it up for that run to the line as best as we can. What is it going to be? Oh, 57.4 I think was on that opening run. Yeah, now I definitely think we can get it in the 56s. I don't know how much higher up the table we can be getting the Jaguar. Although I've said that about cars before, and, you know, they've gone surprisingly quick, so you never know. So, we are on to our second attempt in the E-Type, and we need to find a fair bit of time. And while we didn't make any glaringly obvious mistakes, you know, we didn't completely miss corners in that previous run, there was definitely places that we could improve upon, getting braking sorted for corners better, and so on. And if we can just get that little bit of time through each corner, that little bit faster through every turn on the track, we might be able to make up the time necessary. After all, the Maloo Ute did a fairly similar trick on its run, so it might just about be doable for the E-Type. It's not going to be easy, though. The BMW is not going to be a pushover, trying to go quicker than that target time. Oh, don't carry too much speed on the way in here, otherwise you'll never get the car out in a neat and tidy manner. Yeah, the issues I'm having with the Jaguar is that I think the BMW is a slightly quicker car in a straight line. Not by a huge amount, no, but I think it is slightly faster down the straights. And the Jag isn't better through the corners. We're struggling a little bit with understeer through a lot of these turns. While it is a nice car that you can really attack the corners with. You can really throw this Jaguar around, and it's perfectly okay with that. And that's a nice quality to have in a car. It is not quite got the grip of the likes of the Maloo, the likes of the Corvette. We can't carry enough corner speed. Now, we will make up time on the Maloo and so on with this Jaguar straight line speed. As I said, it's got as much power as that Maloo and is a hell of a lot lighter and far more power and far less weight than the Corvette. But the problem is that we're losing time through the corners, heading off the icy straight again, 106 miles an hour across that jump. The windscreen's gone. Don't care about that one. Try and stop the car for the penultimate corner. I'm not sure we're going any quicker on this particular run. Oh, we are going quicker, but only fractionally. A 56.9, I think that one was, to go. Oh, 57.0, in fact, to go. I mean, it's towards the top of the table. It's fast, as I expected. We need to find a second. We need to find 1.1 seconds on this final run. That's a lot. So, it is the final do-or-die run for the E-Type Jaguar. Just over a second is needed if we are to knock that BMW off the top spot. It is a tall order. It is a tall order. Again, that previous run was good. There are a couple of places I think I can improve upon, but I'm not sure it's a second worth of time that I can find in this car. Nevertheless, I'm going to give it a damn good go. The trick with this is to now not overdrive the car. When we know we're on this final run, when we've got a second to make up, it is very easy to now drive the car way too hard, make silly mistakes, and end up losing time. And that is not what we want to be doing. I'm actually finding myself having to tap the handbrake in a couple of places around this course. I've had to do it for a while, but it was struggling to get the front end turned in, and it is helping a tad, only on the very, very slow hairpins, but yeah, it's necessary with the Jag. It's just that understeer. If we had a little bit more turning, if we had like 265s at the front, maybe 305s at the rear or something, put all of that together, and you would have a little bit more traction, a little less oversteer. It's not that it's terrible, it's just there are cars that have done it better. And if we're going to go up against some of the really fast cars up here, we want a bit more grip in all departments, at the rear and at the front of the car. Get it slowed again for this hairpin. See, it's like here, for example, where we're struggling to fire the car out of the hairpin with quite as much vigour as you might ideally like. However, things are looking, I reckon, pretty good for the E-Type here as we head on to the icy straight. Carry as much speed as we can, try and avoid the ice patches as best we can as well. Heading off of this section, that was a lot of speed. We're a couple of miles an hour faster across that jump. Spot the braking, and this time we can actually see where we're going without the cracked window. Oh, I think this is quick. This is very, very quick from the E-Type. Oh, it's going to be close. I don't think it's done it. It is. Oh, bloody hell. We found the 1.1 seconds, but it was not quite enough. Oh, only the second car in this entire series to get into the 155s, but it cannot quite beat that 507. That's ridiculously close. That is absolutely incredible. 7/100ths of a second separate these two cars. Oh, well, we beat the Alfa Romeo, the TZ2, the Corvette. Will not quite hold on to its podium. The podium has changed a lot in these last 3 episodes. The Malu's down to 5th now in this series. In fact, if you want to get into the top 6, you have to get into the 56s now. It is all still relatively close at the front between... Well, I mean, the whole overall table has been close throughout. And, yeah, even though there are a couple of cars, like the BMW set a ridiculous time, other vehicles have been, you know, catching up, and there's not such huge gaps in this table anymore. The Jaguar, though, having to settle for second. I gave it everything on that final run. We were absolutely on it. I just couldn't quite find enough time. Just not quite. Well, that if there was a high note to go out on, this E-Type is certainly it. It does struggle with understeer. It does struggle with quite a lot of understeer in the car. I'm surprised. In some ways, I am surprised it's as fast as it is, because yeah, the BMW was nicer to drive. Certainly up this course. The likes of the Malu and the Corvette were nicer to drive in some ways. What the Jaguar has is, of course, better acceleration than the Corvette and the Malu. And while it is a bit of a handful through the corners, I can still get it through them quickly, and that is the key. I did find myself using the handbrake a lot more with this car than I have on many of the other vehicles up here, just to get the back end. Not enough to get it sliding. You've got to be really careful on here with you don't want to get the car sliding, because you will lose a heap of time if you do, but just enough to get the front end turned in a little bit more. And it worked for the Jag. It worked. It had enough control to do it, but yeah, just a little bit down on that BMW. Well, that is going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.